Hey guys, this is Kevin over at jazzham.com. Jazzham.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves and the comfort of their own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you want to know the price of the watch, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate it if you would buy a watch from jazzham.com once in a while. Alright, so today we're going to be doing a review on two Rolex watches. Here on my left, released in the 2017 Bezel World Show. This is the James Cameron Deepsea, reference number 126660. And here on my right, we have the newly released 2019 two-tone Rolex Sea Dweller. This is the reference number 126603. We'll be comparing the dials, bezel, case, crown, bracelet, clasp, and we'll talk about the movements towards the end of the video. Alright, so jumping right into the dial, we can see they have the same dial structure for the hour markers. We have the circular hour markers with the index 6, 9, and triangular 12 at the 12 o'clock position. Both of them have different fashionings of gold on their respective hour markers. The Sea Dweller 43 being the two-tone, of course, having yellow fashioning of 18 karat yellow gold, whereas the James Cameron Deepsea has a fashioning of 18 karat white gold. At the 3 o'clock position, we can see there is the date window. However, the Deepsea does not have a Cyclops lens compared to the Sea Dweller. Actually, the previous model of the Sea Dweller did not have one either. They introduced it on the newer style Sea Dwellers to have the Cyclops lens for magnification, easier viewing of that date. The reason why the Deepsea doesn't have it is because the sapphire crystal, the scratches resistant sapphire crystal on the Deepsea is actually much thicker than the Sea Dwellers. It's about 5.5 centimeter thick sapphire crystal, I believe, for that, and that's in conjunction with the whole overall build of the case, and there's a specific reason why it's that thick. But the extra thickness of the sapphire crystal actually helps with a minor magnification of the date, so it actually is not very hard to read at all. It's still very visible, just not as visible as with the Cyclops lens. As you can see, different dial colors. We're not having a standard black dial style on this version of the Deepsea. As I did mention, it is the James Cameron Deepsea. The reason why it's called the James Cameron Deepsea is because this specific Deepsea style was made to celebrate the James Cameron's historic solo dive, which they documented on the National Geographic. I believe the film was called the Deepsea Challenge 3D. So this watch was made with that in mind. This is not the original watch that James Cameron himself wore. He wore a different style of Deepsea, but this was made in commemoration of that. So we have the nice hue from the blue downwards to the black, and it's a nice gradient and contrast on there to mimic the same idea of when his submarine went down to the Mariana Trench. It went from that nice blue all the way to the depths below, and the Deepsea name itself is in the green coloration because that was the color of the submarine he used. And then we have the Sea Dweller name underneath there with the water resistance as labeled the 12,800 feet or 3,900 meters. For the Sea Dweller, the text at the 6 o'clock position is it's a glinted name color, so it's a golden color with the Sea Dweller name instead of being just a plain white text. That two-tone really just having that nice glint to match with the two-tone overall aesthetic look of the watch. We have a smaller amount of water resistance, but still a very large amount for the average person, which is 4,000 feet or 1,220 meters. I mean, it's sort of having this much water resistance. Unless you're really a professional diver, you're probably not going to use these watches for diving that deep anytime soon. But if you are, more power to you. The Deepsea just kind of goes above and beyond and just kind of flashing out that you have the ability to, but you don't have to. Well, besides that, there has been some changes at the 6 o'clock position. I did forget to mention the Swiss mate here at the 6 o'clock. You can see the Swiss mate that was updated in the respective year, like I said, 2017 for the James Cameron Deepsea, or they added the Rolex Crown logo in between that Swiss mate to sort of commemorate that they've actually updated the movements on both of these watches. So they both run a newer style movement, which we'll go more about later in the video. But besides that, as I mentioned, our markers are the same. Hands are the same, Mercedes styles hands, but just fashioned in different respective golds. And of course, forgot to mention on the Deepsea, the ring lock system. That's unique to the Deepsea, and it sort of goes with the sapphire crystal, as I mentioned, being about 5 millimeters thick. That ring lock is a nitrogen alloyed steel central ring that it's sort of like a skeleton of the system. So it helps keep with the crystal in place, the ring lock system. And actually, I'll just go ahead and show you very quickly here now. At the back of the case backing, we have grade 5 titanium sort of holding that all together. So those three things work together very nicely to have that insane amount of water resistance that I mentioned. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the bezel now. So the bezel is a black ceramic bezel. The black ceramic bezel, it's very scratch resistant and has a very nice shine to it, as you can see, very reflective of my surroundings in my light box. The gradations are for the Arabic numerals 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 all around with the larger, fatter indices in between each Arabic numerals, indicating 5-minute increments, as these bezels are used to track elapsed time. The period at the 12 o'clock position, the little circular dot there, is luminous along with the rest of the dial with a highly legible chromolite displays with long-lasting blue luminescence. So this watches have great visibility in the dark at night. Even when diving, you'll have that easy visibility because the hour markers themselves will have a nice blue tone to them. But besides that, the bezels are pretty much the same, and just differences in the material that's used. So gold for obviously the two-tone. We have the gold bezel on the sides of the riveted edges, and on the numerals and such, they're dusted with that gold as well. Whereas the Deepsea, it has a stainless steel bezel, but however the numerations are dusted with a platinum instead. So that helps it stand out against the black background of the ceramic and makes it pop and much easier to read. Alright, so moving on to the case size now. So the case size of these watches is only a 1 millimeter difference between the two. The Deepsea runs at a 44 millimeter in diameter, so from my index finger to my thumb here, that's 44 millimeters in diameter. Whereas the Sea Dollar runs a 43 millimeters that was recently updated from the 2017 model, the stainless steel model that came out. They changed it from a 40 millimeter to the 43 millimeter. So from my index finger to my thumb here, that's 43 millimeters in diameter. And then let me show you the side profiles of these watches. You can see the Deepsea having a much larger profile. I believe that one's a 17.7, whereas the Sea Dollar is around a 15.3, I believe. I don't have the exact measurements as my caliper is broken, but yeah, you can see the Sea Dollar is much smaller due to the Deepsea having that insane amount of water resistance due to the protection of that addition of the ring lock system, that additional larger sapphire crystal, and that grade 5 case back titanium, all matching all nicely together to create this very powerful water resistant watch. They both do, however, have the helium escape valve, as you can see on the at the center position here, these little circles. So that's Rolex's ingenious way of dealing with depressurization chambers. So if you did do deep sea diving and you're coming up through a depressurization chamber, that's what you need to do if you go deep sea diving, or else the pressure becomes too much if you surface too quickly. So you have to come up through a depressurization chamber, and the chamber itself has a mixture of gases to help with that. One of those gases contain helium, and helium is small enough to actually get into the watch itself and then cause enough pressure to build up to pop out that sapphire crystal. But the helium escape valve is Rolex's way of dealing with that, and what it does is that it's sort of a sensor to bar pressure, and is done by a spring, and then once it reaches a certain bar pressure, it does open up and release that excess helium, therefore protecting your watch and the sapphire crystal from being popped out. But you can see very nice high polish on the sides of the watch, matching very nicely with their bracelet. Let me go ahead and show you the other side as well. And there we are. You can see the Deepsea being much taller versus the Sea Dollar. The Deepsea and Sea Dollar are sort of like the Deepsea being the very end of the spectrum of being a very large sports piece, whereas the Sea Dweller kind of sits in between the Deepsea and the Submariner. So you have your choice of, you know, however thick you wish to go. This Sea Dweller is also a very valid choice as well. We have the crowns here in the center position with the crown logo on it, on the crown itself, with the 3 dots located underneath right on the crown, indicating that these watches, you do use a trip-lock, triple waterproofing system. Sea Dweller's crowns, of course, being in a yellow gold, as it is a 2-tone watch. For the crown functions, you're going to have the same functions, so I'll just go ahead and show you on the Deepsea. So starting with the Deepsea, we're going to go ahead and open up the crown counterclockwise as shown. In the standard position is where you can wind the watch. About 15 to 20 winds is all you need to get the watch started once more. Pulling it out to the crown to the next position will allow you to adjust that date window at the 3 o'clock position instantaneously, very quickly, and very easily. Pulling the crown out to the next position will allow you to adjust the hands bidirectionally. And of course, stopping of the second hand for precise time setting, so you can set the time down to the exact seconds, such as to an atomic clock online or even your iPhone time. So you can see, always make sure to screw the crown nice and tight in against the case, as you want to keep the watch water resistant. As I mentioned before, the 12,800 feet are 3,900 meters. The Sea Dweller has the same crown function, so I won't be showing you that. It has basically the same thing. Moving on to the Bracelet now. So one thing that has been updated for both of these is that the bracelets used to be sort of not really in correct proportions in terms of from the links to the case of the watch. But in 2017, when they released both of these, so the Deepsea and the Sea Dweller, they made changes to the bracelet so that the center link is actually a little bit larger than. The center link is a little bit larger by 1 millimeter on each side, versus the outer of the links, they have been slimmed down just a little bit, so it keeps a much better proportion of view overall. So we have the same style bracelet, Oyster style bracelet, however nicely high polished down the center for the 2-tone, as you want that gold to be shining and you want it to stand out. As we move on, you can see the pattern continues through the clasp. We have a nice satin finish on all pieces of the links and through the clasp as well for the Deepsea. And to the other side, you can see same thing, nice satin finish, nice high polish down the center. Moving back to the clasp now. So clasp sizing is going to be the same size clasp because they have the same features. This is a safety folding Oyster lock. We're going to go ahead and open that up. So we're going to open that safety first. The safety is the little hinge that sits on top of the folding Oyster that opens up as so. And there we are, revealing these nicely high polished clasp blades. Surprisingly, no yellow gold on the clasp blade itself, just a simple stainless steel with the Rolex name embossed on there. And what I meant by the same features for these watches, I'm going to go ahead and show you it on the Sea Dweller first. I'm putting the Deepsea down. So for the clasp in the back, you can see I just pulled at a 45-degree angle. You heard a little snap, and you can see these little riveted edges. This is called the glide lock extension system, and you're able to adjust the bracelet very quickly, very easily, in 2 millimeter increments for a maximum of 20 millimeters. So you can see I extended that bracelet out very quickly, very easily there. And that's just something that they made with divers in mind. So if a diver were to put on a wetsuit, they can easily just adjust the bracelet for the additional sizing of the wetsuit around the wrist. The reason why I'm showing you both of these is because they actually work differently on both watches. So that was the Sea Dweller. For the Deepsea, is a little bit different. At the top, where the top portion of the clasp is a nicely satin finish, you actually pull that upwards instead, and then you'll be able to see the riveted edges sort of pull out, making like a little shark there, and then you can go ahead and pull that out outwards. Same thing though, very easy to use, very simple to do. It's just with the different change with being able to lock the riveted edge in place. So now you can't just shift it around. It stays stays exactly where you want it. So pretty similar functions, just used a little bit differently. All right, so let me actually go ahead and go over the movements of these watches. So let me just show you just the case back real quick. So once more, you can see that grade 5 titanium case back from the Deepsea. It's just a little bit darker than the rest of the case. You can see it's like much grayer compared to the rest of the steel in the area, whereas the Sea Dwellers you can see it's just a simple case backing, just satin finish and high polish there. So just differences in case back, but the movements that both of these watches use are the same though. So the movements that these watches use are a 3285 movement. The previous model movement, actually I said 3285, I apologize, it's supposed to be a 3235 movement. I was actually 3235 movement was the movement that they have now. The previous movement was a 3135 movement. So there's been a few updates to the movement, mainly just changes in the parts that the movement has been changed to mainly in-house made parts. So the previous model movement 3135 had a power reserve of a 48-hour power reserve, but the power reserve of these watches, you're looking at a 70-hour power reserve, meaning these watches can be put down on a Friday evening, picked back up on a Monday afternoon. You can be keeping time just fine. They're both perpetual mechanical self-winding movements with precision within Swiss specs, which is the -4 + 6 seconds a day, but with Rolex's in-house testing and the text they print at the 6 o'clock position, where they boast about the superlative chronometer officially certified, they have a precision of -2 + 2 seconds a day. Has the functions of the hour, minute, and seconds hand with the changing of the date, as I've shown you with the crown functions, and the stopping of the seconds hand for precise time setting. They both have a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring that was available on the previous movement, but now they've updated the shock absorbers on the watch. These industry standard shock absorbers on the previous model used a KIF shock absorbers, but now these use a Paraflex shock absorbers, which are in-house made by Rolex, and they claim to absorb 50% more shocks than the Rolex or than the standard KIF shock absorbers. The escapement has been changed as well. It's now in-house made escapement by Rolex. It's a Currency escapement, which is a skeletonized escapement wheel made out of a nickel phosphorus. That skeletonization helps with that reduction of inertia for keeping that precise time setting, that +2, -2 seconds a day, and with additionally also helping with energy efficiency. That's why we have a new power reserve of 70 hours instead of that 48 hours. And the nickel phosphorus pairs nicely with the paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring in conjunction and working with resistance against magnetism. So these watches have a nice resistance against magnetism that prevents it from running faster. So let me go ahead and show you these watches on my wrist now. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Deepsea first. So we're going to locate that safety, folding. There we are, folding down, safety on, and there's the Deepsea. Nicely satin finish, very beautiful polishing style from Rolex. It's just their basic polishing style for sports pieces that are in steel. So that satin finish, very durable, and will hide any scuffs very nicely. You can see that profile is very high, will sit very high off the wrist, so it won't fit under suit-cut dress cuffs very easily. But you can see very unique style dial, and is absolutely just gorgeous. That commemoration to James Cameron, having that light blue gradient to that darker gradient, the black, and just having a Deepsea name in the green, just nicely contrasted out on that dial, makes it pop. It's a very, very unique style watch. Actually does you'll feel quite a weight on your wrist. So if you don't like having that weighty feeling in your wrist throughout the day, then this might not be the watch for you. But if you're a larger guy and the weight doesn't bother you, then maybe this watch is the right fit for you. This watch is absolutely gorgeous, and just that satin finish looks absolutely gorgeous as well. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the seat holder now. So let me get this on the wrist. So we're gonna open that up, folding down, hinge on, and there we are. So this is the seat holder. Typically, for the seat holder being in two-tone, not many people are happy about that from what I've read around, but the seat holder is still a very, very nice watch. It's got a nice in-between from the Submariner and the Deepsea. So if you're looking for something big, but not something astronomically large like Deepsea, you just want a nice, good feel on the wrist, a nice, profile, that 43 millimeters, as I mentioned before, but also just want to stand out. And the Submariner was too small for you. As the previous model, as the model of Submariner right now in two-tone, the 116613, a 40 millimeter might not do it for you. Maybe you need that 43 and you need it to pop. This is the choice for you.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.